Well, a White House teleprompter operator has been placed on administrative leave without pay after he was caught making bets on the prediction market Kalshi. Gabriel Perez has worked for the president since 2016 and made nearly $100,000 over the last several months. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked about the incident earlier today. Here's what she said.
Well, the White House has extremely strict ethical guidelines with respect to issues like this. And as I just told you, this individual will no longer be here. He'll be on paid administrative leave. I'm sorry, without pay. The administrative leave is unpaid, to be very clear. That was a decision by the president. So I think that speaks for itself.
Perez does seem to be getting more leniency than U.S. Army soldier Gannon Van Dyke, who was federally charged over a polymarket bet he made on the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro back in January. Earlier, I asked Nancy Pelosi stock tracker Chris Josephs if he thought this was a double standard. Joining us now is Pelosi stock tracker Chris Josephs. Chris, great to see you as always. So this story is pretty amazing. Gabriel Perez was placed on administrative unpaid leave. But when you compare it to the story that we've talked about with you before of the soldier who bet on the Maduro capture, he was charged with federal crimes and will face a trial. So charges could still come for this guy, but it seems like the investigation isn't as intense for him. Why do you think that is?
I think probably, if I'm looking at the facts, I know that story just came out this morning. He's pretty close to Trump. He has been doing the teleprompter kind of job since 2016, and that's over 10 years. He's probably been trusted in the Trump community. He's been trusted in the Trump circle. So, at the end of the day, he knows people that probably that soldier didn't know, and he's now being able to benefit from that. Along with, the CFTC, which I think is the one that will be overseeing the investigation. Those are Trump's people as well. So I'm not surprised that his kind of charges will be less. I think they're going to try and settle, but I do think it's still unfair, though, transparently speaking, for the soldier who got charged and is probably going to jail.
Yeah, the CFTC, as you mentioned, they said that they're willing to settle with Perez if he just pays back his winnings. That was not an option given to the soldier. He was immediately charged with these very serious charges, which could land him in federal prison. But in terms of what we're talking about here, Kalshi is the platform that he was making bets on. There's obviously a difference between insider trading on stocks versus betting markets. Do you think that the current regulations that we have on these issues extend to Kalshi, or do there need to be new laws put in place because they're stretched to a point of not really applying?
Yeah, I think it's two problems. So one, I think absolutely, if we are going to essentially adopt these prediction markets as not betting and as actual investment vehicles, I think the same requirements have to follow. The same way you can't insider trade in stocks, you should not be able to insider trade on prediction markets. But I think the broader thing that is harder to kind of track with all this stuff is these prediction markets bring a lot more scope and a lot more surface area to do these quote unquote insider trading. If you wanted to insider trade on Wall Street, you had to be a politician who could pass the laws, or you had to be someone who would work at some of these larger companies to be able to gain access to that information. This guy is a teleprompt assistant that has access to information that the majority of the people don't have. But now there's a way for him to kind of be tempted into quote-unquote insider trading. Before, that was never a thing. Now it is. I think we do probably have to add more legislation to it to cover kind of things like this. But I also do think we're in the early innings of this, and they're trying to make an example out of people. I think that soldier is an example. They're trying to kind of lay down the law early. This one, they're probably going to try and lay down the law early with as well. I don't know if it'll turn into a pattern, but I don't see it necessarily slowing down just because of how many opportunities there are to quote-unquote insider trade on these prediction markets.
How are these people getting caught? Because, like you said, there's a lot of aspects to this. Any company now, you could have someone inside a sports company or inside of a media company watching the news, making these bets and then pulling them back once they know what's going on. That's certainly unethical, but it's not necessarily illegal, at least yet. And it seems like this could be happening all of the time, and regulators and investigators catch up slowly and aren't going to catch everybody who's engaged in this process.
Yeah. I think it begs the question that you're kind of getting at. Maybe there's a lot more insider trading going on in the stock market that we don't necessarily know about if it's happening on these prediction markets. But To give credit to Kalshi and Polymarket, they outwardly have expressed that they are trying to solve this. Kalshi, for example, when you want to sign up with them, they require you to say where you work. You know, they're essentially KYC information, getting access to where you're working. So now if they know you work on Trump's administration and you're trading markets associated with Trump, it's a lot easier and faster to connect the dots, whereas with the stock market, I think it's just frankly harder.
Chris Josephs, great to see you. Thank you for being here as always.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.